beautiful fresh bag of porcelain here. And what I am going to do is make some of my pretty butterflies to hang on a wall, or I can put them outside on a garden wall or in the house. It'd also be really nice for wedding favors, I suppose. So what I'm going to do is just sort of eyeball about a ½ inch down on this block. I'm sure it's going to come out crooked because whenever I use the wire it does. Ah, not too bad. Okay, just going to put that down. Move this out of my way. Okay, so I have my my rolling assistants here, and they are about 1/8 inch thick. This is about how thin I want the porcelain to be. And so what I'm going to do is just wake this clay up a little bit. Start to thin it out a little just by throwing it. Give it a start. All right, so now I'm just gonna start rolling from here, from the hump, kind of the fat spot, so I don't just stretch out this tail too much from the get-go. Now I'm gonna just keep rolling this way, because what I'm gonna be doing to make my butterflies is using these molds that I made. And the way that I made these was just, I drew a butterfly and I drew it onto my clay, a slab like this, probably about this thick. And then I just cut it out, and where all the details were going to go, I just put on the raised pieces there. Okay, so anyway, my molds here that I made are kind of like belly buttons. I have an innie and an outie. I've mostly been using the outie because it gives nice little divots, recessed areas to the relief of my butterflies. And this time I'm going to use this mold as well and have some outies too, and see what that looks like. And so I made these molds myself. I made them both using clay, and this is actually just you know, regular old plaster. A lot of potters use specific pottery plaster that's probably a lot harder than this for making big molds, but these have been working just fine for me. But yeah, I made these myself. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to continue rolling this out, and you see that this is not much wider than the mold here, so I'm not gonna roll in different directions. I'm going to keep this about this width. And, you know, I mean, you could do this with any mold that you make. Or, I mean, you know, if you're not fussy and, you know, you just want to use commercial molds, you know, have a ball. You can do that too. I just like to make my own stuff if I can. I have my share of, you know, commercial texture things and stuff like that, but I don't know, I just got the idea to make these, and kind of fun when I don't feel like throwing on the wheel. All right, now you see I'm throwing this down a little more gently. So what I want to do, I'm getting pretty thin there, so I'm gonna keep these guys a little closer, because what I want to do is have the thickness of this clay match the thickness of my yardsticks here. And normally with stoneware, I would not go this thin. I would go at least 1/4 inch, but with porcelain, it's a little tougher It's also a little more challenging at the same time, but I love the white of porcelain. I hope all you can see is my hands. I really hate being on camera. That's why all of my other videos have just been ceramics cat and words and stuff and loud music, because I like loud music. As you can tell, I like alternative music. There's some music on my videos that is performed by one of the bands. Oh, actually a couple of the bands that my husband's been in. He is a musician. Oh, duh. He's a musician. He's a bass player. And yeah, so I got to use some free music from those guys. So I'm just going to cut off these rounded edges because I'm not going to be needing them. And I'm gonna straighten this out a little bit too. Just get a straight edge there. So I'm taking this off so I can make sure that I'm the same width in the middle as I am at the ends, because things get a little funky. Oh wow, that's looking good, looking good. All right, I'm only gonna take a little bit of this off. Pardon my back, gotta do it. Didn't get quite through there all the way, but that's all right. There we go. Okay, so let's see where we are with these. Okay, so that's pretty much how we're gonna go. I'm just gonna check this width. Yep, I'm still a little bit high. Or I mean the height. You know what? I'm a little nervous because, like I said, I don't really like being on camera. I mean, if you were here right with me, right in front of me, you know, I would love it. You know, I love talking to people. I love meeting people. I used to be a teacher, and, you know, I'm not really shy about teaching, but for some reason the video thing is just, I don't know. I don't like the way I look on camera. Especially when I'm in my duds, in my studio duds. All right, you see I got all these ridges in here. All right, I'm gonna very, very carefully, I've gotta give this some support here because it's very long. I'm gonna very carefully turn that over. Because it's like, you know, it's like pizza dough or something. I don't want it to get away from me. Wow, this is like, still pretty long, or pretty high here. All right, I'm not gonna press quite as hard because it wants to do what it should be doing. Checking. I see I'm getting wider, of course. Now, if this ends up being long enough, I might be able to put a bunch of these long ways. We'll see. I don't think so. I need at least 3 some inches or something. All right, pardon my back again. I'm going to cut this edge off again. I love making clay stuff. It's just so fun. And I paint too. You probably know that, or maybe you don't. I don't know. But yeah, I don't know. Always got so many irons in the fire. Kids book, painting, a bunch of stuff going on at one time. But, you know, clay is really fun, but it demands so much of your attention. And if you're watching, you probably know that because you probably like playing with clay. Okay, what I'm seeing here is that I'm pretty high in the middle. You can see that it's still high above, but I think that the ends look pretty good. So I think this has something to do with my short little alligator arms. That, you know, the way I push on the roller doesn't end up being even. Because I got short little alligator arms and legs. And hopefully my husband's coming home today with 4 cinder blocks for me, because what we're going to do is we're going to raise this table up a little bit, and hopefully that will help me, because my back really hurts when I'm done with this kind of thing, working on my table. All right, so now you see I'm going to be even more gentle turning this. This should be the last time I turn this. Okay. All right. See, like a big hump there. I don't want it to become like a big bubble or something. Ooh, it's getting longer and longer and longer. More butterflies, more butterflies, more butterflies. All right, I think we are in good shape now. I'm just gonna go like that a few times. Oh, see, nope, can't do it, because you see that I'm still uneven. Oh, I might want to go get a cup of coffee or something and come back when I've got this rolled out all the rest of the way. Or martini or whatever. That's my favorite. Martinis! I love my martinis. Alright, I think that we are thin enough here. Now, you see I'm just releasing this a little bit from the from my table, and I'm okay if it's a little higher in some places more than others. So now that we have this long slab rolled out, I just use a credit card here, and hang on a minute. Yep, good, fantastic. I just use a credit card. You know, you can use one of these, you can use a rib, use whatever, but we want to just take this gently, and anytime you're doing a slab, you want to compress it. Just rub it gently. And just compress the clay. Just helps with cracking and stuff like that. Gives your clay a little more strength, especially porcelain. Okay. Alrighty. And now we're going to do the same thing on the other side. Now, what's going to happen is, you see on this side of the slab, I've not only compressed the clay, but there is no texture in it. But if you look at this side, oh, see that? Definitely need to have that compressed. Don't want that happening. You might be able to see the slight texture of the canvas that I have over my table. And I'm going to compress this side too. I'm going to end up with that canvas texture on the back side again, but that's okay, because I'm going to be sponging and cleaning up these butterflies towards the end anyway, so you're not going to see that texture. So I'm excited because I'm going to have fun today making these butterflies a little bit differently. You know, I have made them before, you know, just with putting them in the mold, like, you know, like then they come out like this. But I really wanted to try some slip trailing and stuff, so I want to give them a little more texture. And what really, what kind of got me excited about doing that and doing new things and adding Actually, what I want to do is add more details and stuff, because I went to a butterfly conservatory with my daughter while I was visiting her in Massachusetts, and oh, there were just so many beautiful species with so many, you know, different markings and colors, and so I'm going to give my butterflies a little more love on them, a little more pizzazz, because they are incredible creatures, especially monarchs. If you have never seen Flight of the Monarchs on Nova, you really should watch it. It's about the migration and life cycle of monarch butterflies, and it is amazing. It's absolutely amazing. Okay, we are ready to get some butterflies going here. Okay, so I think I'm going to make them all innies to start out with. So I am just going to do that. Just going to get a bunch of these going. Clay takes so much time, but it's love. It's love. I love clay. All right, good. There we go. All right. So, yeah, that made a little divot. That's okay. Okay, so yeah, you can see I've got some little issues there, but that's all right. Like I said, they will go away. Okay, so here we go. We are just going to put this over top of my mold. And what I like to do is take my little, let me move these out of the way so you can see this one. Take my little roller here, just to give it good compression and be sure that all the shapes get in there. All right. So then I go down the sides a little bit. Okay, good. All right, so now here's where some water comes in. So you're getting rid of all that stuff. Okay, now, and then I'm gonna press a little bit harder. Again, I'm gonna press all around here. Make sure that I get the whole shape. Okay, see that? Okay, then here's my X-Acto knife. X-Acto knife over here for some reason. Okay, so I am just going to loosely cut the rest of this off. I'm not going to worry about getting too much detail about it right now. Okay, let's get that all over there. I'll trim it up later on. Okay, now what I want to do is just make a little hook for it, hang it on the wall. I want it to be even. Okay, now that's way too, let's see, I'm going to do a little bit more. That'll give me about 2 of them. Now, because porcelain tends to dry out very quickly and develop little tiny cracks, what I'm going to do with this is just give it a quick dunk in water before I attach it, because sometimes, oh, see that? There we go. Proving my points. Okay, so what I'm going to do is just because usually where it gives you the hard time is at the bend. So I'm going to just attach this little hook to the back. Have it stand up a little bit, like that. Okay, all right, so there we go. Now, you can see the impression that we have here, okay? So I'm gonna give this a little time, maybe like even just 10 minutes to set up on this mold here before I turn it the other way and trim it up properly. And what I like to do, though, when I am drying them, is to, when this is trimmed, I will dry it kind of like that, you know, or maybe like that, so that when you hang them, they look like they're flying. Like that one, you know, see it's pushed out a little bit. Now I was using these hangers on them with epoxy, but I've lost a lot of them off the wall with these, so that's why I'm going to the clay hanger with a lot more depth. Okay, and so the process for the outie is going to be just the same. Wow, that feels pretty thick. I want that. I'm going to roll that back out. All right, so I'm taking this off the end. Now, it's a little different because I'm obviously not going to be able to use the roller. So what I'm doing here is I'm using my sponge to set it in. And notice I started from the middle out because the clay, when, you know, whenever you wipe it or do something like this, it is going to stretch a little bit. So you want it to stretch out towards the ends, not from the outside in. And I'm going to keep this nice and wet because I don't want it pulling on my clay. Okay. And I'm going to take a bunch of this off here. That extra off. Do this again a little bit more since it doesn't have so much dragging it down. Okay, and then, all right, so that needs some more rubbing. Needs some more loving and rubbing. Love me, rub me, says the butterfly. So you need to like really feel the divots so that you know you have some nice pronounced shapes in there. All right, there we go. There's the one with the out. There's the outie. So you see the shapes go out rather than in. So yeah, okay. So I'll tell you what. I am going to give both of these a little chance to dry while I oh, let's see. Wait, put a hook on that one. Move this down because I still have some trimming to do, so I don't really want this hook to run into that spot where I have to trim. So yeah, there we go. Okay, actually I'm not gonna leave them in the molds so that I can just keep moving along. I will let them set up a little bit here on this newspaper. And then I'll trim them, and I will do some slip trailing. I hate when I have brain freezes like that. I'll do some slip trailing on them and add some more details, and I'll do that in another video. I'll finish this in another little quick video. Okay, bye.